He might do it for the content, but
Both for content.
he might do it for the content. He's thinking about doing it for the content. He's not thinking how to mate here. Do it for the content.
Oh, he does it! Oh my god!
1, 2, 3, keep it going now.
Speaking of being in the best space possible, I think the games are starting. In fact, looks like they have, and we're off to see the Wizard with a French. And we did look at this, full disclosure, because Benji, for the record, has pretty much only played a French in his chess career. And so Rainn and I spent some time just looking at the basics of the advanced variation, no trickery, and you're going to see that on the board.
The craziest thing about Benji is that he's had his Chess.com account since 2018. In January of this year, January 10th, his rapid rating was 817. He has gained 545 points. He is currently at his peak, which he hit yesterday. So this kid, I mean, that's insane, Danny.
So I think the question will be interesting as to whether Benji understands this A5 idea. Have him and Hammer talked about that that's a key point in undermining the French structure? Did they not get around to that because they didn't necessarily expect A3? I think that's going to be a key thing in this position, and we see he kind of doesn't, and he's actually blundered the D5 pawn. So this is not working out well for Benji.
No, it's not. And okay, I mean, the truth is that after knight takes d5, e7 is still protected. So computer is giving like +4 or something completely ridiculous because it's got a very kind of methodical way now to pick apart everything and win. But Rainn's got to see through everything. Like he's got to realize that taking on e7 is good, and then he's got to realize like the next step. It's not just winning a pawn; it's that Black's position is going to crumble.
Right.
But
gonna get spicy.
Yeah, this is the, okay. See the problem. Well, you know, that's a great move. But Benji's got to find bishop d5. Like it's a great move unless you've played bishop d5.
Got to plug the square. Right. Yeah, good point.
Because otherwise,
so
I mean, if Black goes...
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
I was gonna say if bishop f7, e6, d5. I mean, Black resigns. Black stops playing the French defense after bishop f7. So
I did tell Rainn that. I said my main goal is for you to get Hammer to feel like he needs to switch his students' openings. Like that's the main goal. And he's like, "Who's Hammer?" I'm like, "Don't worry about it."
Yeah, that I always wonder, you know, in these events, like how many of these creators know each other? Like not even by name, you know, just by content, all this stuff, because they're all over. They're all working, you know, maybe even hundreds of hours in a 7-day week. I'm just curious, like, you know, do people listen to Logic's music? But put that, you know, and then like, you know, do they watch Mr. Beast's videos? There's so many different people across so many different kind of categories. But you know, back to the chess. This is looking like your guy's gonna win the game.
It's falling apart. Anyway, Rainn is definitely cleaning up here. So tough lesson for Benji. I think that Rainn again didn't get what we looked at, but the goal I took as a coach paid off because I was like, look, man, always what happens here is most of the time you look at these specific X's and O's, he plays a move order, one of you forgets it. Focus on the forest through the trees. What are you doing here? And that's really legit is my mindset. And I think it's partly because you just I've had so many experiences where when you try to go the other way and buckle down and say, this is the exact trap, the amount of times you get what happened between Charlie and XQC, Levy, is like 1 in a million, right? It just never works out that way. So you should focus on your bigger chess goals rather than trying to trap people. All right, I'll get off my soapbox about coaching. All right, here we go. Shout out to the community and the viewership. We're growing here. The day's just getting started. Ooh, very good. Okay, this is an awesome battery set up by Benji. And again, this is what you would love to see.
that is the most tightrope walking way to stop that mate, Danny.
You took the words out of my mind. I was about to say what you'd love to see. What you'd love to see, right? Bishop c3 is the move that's like, dude, solve the problem.
Yeah, I mean, like G3, we go to break. Like we don't even. Okay, now rook d8. Just rook d8. The rook is gone. No more back rank problems. If Rainn Wilson hangs back rank mate, I'll gift like 500.
Oh my god, dude, that move you just played. I wasn't expecting it. My calf muscles tightened.
I don't have calf muscles, Danny. I go for a 2-minute walk and I get How do you still work out in quarantine? You still working
Dude, I'm
out? You still
obsessed with CrossFit. It's my only therapy. But
good
the
for you,
gym I go
man.
to, totally socially distanced and safe. What is going on here? Everyone gets their
Yeah,
own box, and it's like it's away from other people. It's very, very cleanly. We have to wipe down all the weights when we're done. It's actually kind of gross the amount of Clorox that goes into keeping that place COVID free. I might be getting sick because of that, but that's a whole nother story.
Queen
All
C8
right.
now Rook D7. All right, Rainn's done messing around. I mean, Rainn is
He sees Rook D7. We're shipping it.
yeah, or Queen D7. But yeah, Rook D7. Man, Rainn just no back rank. Yeah,
Dude,
there it is.
look at
All
him.
right,
He smoked this one. He really did.
that was actually stunning.
Sometimes you can't measure that players of all levels blunder, but certainly we know that there's a lot of blunders in PogChamps. But the fact that when he wins, he just cleans up, and the fact that
Speaking of,
he plays better when he moves
Ugh.
quickly is a really good sign for Sardoche. But
Rough one. Some
speaking of
tough
good
luck
signs
there,
for Rainn
man.
Wilson, that was brutal.
Good game.
yeah, that really was brutal. That's not quite a game that will make you quit the French defense, but it will definitely make you reconsider what to play against the advanced French. Because yeah, that game, if anything, anybody in the chat who plays E4 and struggles with the French, that was a game to watch right there. That was very convincing.
Agreed. Okay,
Yeah,
so this is not quite what we looked at. This is already a transposition. Note that Benji played knight f3, d5, and d4. So Rainn is on his own. I absolved myself of all influence over the game. But I did tell him this, that if we get a queen spawn, okay, he remembered that. That's awesome. You got to make sure in a queen spawn game, everybody, that you can take back with a pawn, because you've got to keep that structure together. You don't want things like this to happen where your opponent has two pawns in the center, you don't. This is actually theory, but we're not going to get into that. The point is, positionally, you've really got to protect. So I'm glad to see Rainn remember that principle. He will probably play g6 here. Nope, he didn't. G6 and bishop back is kind of what he's familiar with, King's Indian stuff. So here we go. We'll see.
Benji is really good at these positions. He likes b3, bishop b2, slow development, and then later expand with e4. He's in his wheelhouse. So, okay, and as I say that, he plays that move. So,
no, but still,
not the best
I think this shows he has the plan that you're talking about, Livy. He's aware that he needs to strive for e4. I'm with you. He needs to complete development first. Benji, you got to develop and maybe even put rooks in the center first. Don't be in a rush to play e4. But I think he has that idea in mind.
Well, I think bishop d3 was a really important loss of tempo because, yeah, like there was no need to go bishop d3. He should have just. And now, right now, if Rainn plays e5, man, this is.
No, you're right, actually.
That's
right.
Bad.
More positive. I'm officially rooting for Benji in this game. We want overtime. We want free chess. We want pizza, too.
I would love some pizza. I had pizza last night at 2 a.m. That's why I love New York City. Yeah. That's why I'm also gaining too much weight, but it was amazing, man. Pepperoni right out the oven. Oh, it was so good.
Oh my God, Rainn's in his zone today. I can feel it.
Yeah,
he's seeing the board well. E5 is a great move.
Such a problem is that you didn't need to make that move. Your bishop was not really changing too much. You know what the computer is suggesting here? C5 by black, which just looks like a mouse slip. It's the best move. And then it wants knight A4. And that's why the eval bar is so deceiving.
Get ready for this eval bar to go nuts, everybody, because I don't think C5. And here you go. Rainn plays queen e7. So as much as we were applauding e5, and I think it was rightfully so, I think Rainn is seeing the board well, and he clearly saw this idea. But the truth is, it may have been a little bit of a too advanced follow-up, because now he's going to get himself in trouble.
Yeah, D takes C6. Now Benji's got to get that tunnel vision. Benji's got to realize E4 is not a threat, which I think is why he played bishop D3. He was so worried about the E4 square, but there's no threat. Like, you're fine. Just take the pawn.
Take the
on
pawn,
C6, not on E5.
Probably don't take twice, because a rook will come to C8 and hit the knight. And maybe it works. I haven't gone full Hikaru here and actually calculated, but I think now Rainn is going off the deep end here.
Oh man. Rainn's gone wild.
I think they both had just miscalculated the pieces on that square. Rainn is avoiding trades, which this is a good idea, I think, conceptually, when you're like, all right, I'm losing, need to keep the pieces on the board. But rook cd8 is actually a big mistake if Benji sees bishop a3, because this rook here is running out of squares. Oh wait, looks like Benji has played a5 and knight b5. So that was a missed opportunity from Benji. Bishop a3 would have been pretty nice, and that's what the computer liked.
Or rook c6 now, probably just attack the
Yeah,
queen.
true. But yeah, white is still better. Well, Rainn is keeping this close. Benji now at 2 minutes and 20 seconds. But if the a5 pawn falls,
There it goes.
yeah, this is still anyone's game. And actually, remember, all Rainn needs is a draw to punch his ticket to the championship. So we are all rooting for Benji. We want overtime here. But the advantage has slipped away.
Oh, I don't like that. Oh, I don't like that. Huge mistake. Knight h5.
Knight h5 or any knight move. This is not a move that Rainn wants to play. That is terribly weakening to his king side.
Oh, knight h5, just sneak in. Oh man.
The thing that's sick about knight h5 is now you've got back rank threats.
Yeah, g7 is covered. Oh, it's too
wrong way.
That's too sober of a move. He needed to get weird with it.
I almost wonder if Benji's just a little, I don't want to say intimidated, he's a little nervous, right? I feel like he knows Rainn is the strongest player he's faced yet. And he's not playing as aggressive as we saw him clean up some of the other matches he had, right? I mean, I feel like he's playing a little timid here.
Was that a slip or does he want to play a5? Rook b8 there was really good. But okay, rook a8 is fine as well. Yeah, this is surgical. Now, will Rainn realize he can trade queens and push the pawn? It's actually his best move, even though ironically... Okay, and he does it. I was going to say ironically.
He takes, and here comes a5. And now if you're Benji... Oh, no, he doesn't.
a5. e4. Just go. e4, e5. Oh, wrong pawn.
Neither player is using their pawn advantage. Use your pawn advantage. So king e4.
King g4 now. Wrong way.
Okay, I think king f5 and Benji wins the game. He played it. I think Benji's going to win this game, and we're going to have overtime, kids.
Does Rainn find rook a5 only move? So that if king g5, I guess at least wow.
Oh my gosh. Rainn's going to save it. Same way he did with Charlie.
Crazy. There's nothing. I mean, the pawn's just... Yeah, now king e5. Now black is winning.
No. Oh, no.
Wow.
Oh, no.
They're...
Oh, my gosh. Rainn's winning the king and pawn ending. And
unbelievable.
Benji can only draw.
Oh, it's a draw now.
Yeah, but it's over.
I know.
Oh, okay.
I know.
I was going to say Joshua Chamberlain strikes again.
It's yeah, he was winning and then he had to actually, you know, it's never too late, but I think Rainn doesn't really care because yeah, obviously he can't win just with a king. So oh man, the Cinderella story, man, like winning the group, the only man to have beaten Sardoshin head to head, but we're not going to get to see the rematch.
Yeah, it's funny because Benji's probably a tougher matchup for Sardosh. I don't know how well Rainn will handle blitz against Sardosh, but if it goes to an overtime tiebreaker. But wow, what a heartbreaker for Benji. He was totally winning in game 2. Not what you saw coming.
King a6, king c6, maybe.
King a6, king c6 is the recipe you need. Stalemate Steven it is?
He might do it for the content, but...
Both for content?
He might do it for the content. He's thinking about doing it for the content. He's not thinking how to mate here. Do it for the content, Rainn. Our clips can only be a minute long. Oh, queen c6.
Clips can only be a minute long, so do it.
Come on, Rainn.
Rainn. Oh, he does it! Oh my god!
Draw. Oh shit.
Oh man.
Shit.
I don't know.
Too predictable.
I really should learn how to do that end game.
Rainn funny,
no way.
He's a killer.
No, I mean, still won. Yeah.
I should have been able to mate you there. I should have taken my time.
Nah.
Wow, what a game. Jeez.
Benji, starting with you. I know this didn't go the way you wanted it to today, but a super close match. And what were your thoughts on where it got away for you or any of your takeaways from this?
I don't know. I don't think it was I mean, the first game I just made a stupid blunder and Rainn played really good. I couldn't. It was really hard for me to come back. I in the second game, I was winning, and then the time pressure just got to me, and I started panicking a bit. That was basically it for me. But Rainn played really good.
First game was about as solid as game as I've played in a long time, and I felt really good about that. And he blundered and gave up his bishop there, and then kind of got on the ropes and had pieces forked. So I did get a little lucky there, but it was a solid game. And the second game, I don't know. He had it was something. I just wasn't used to that. The way the center was locked up, and it's one of those things where you have to be like, how much pressure is on each pawn? Like, I've got a knight on the pawn, and a bishop on the pawn, and a queen on a pawn, and I've got this pawn on the pawn, and I just lost track of that. And in my head, I saw this fork. I was like, ooh, there's a fork with the queen and the bishop, but I didn't even have the fork. It wasn't even real because his knight was there. So I don't know what I was thinking, but my brain just kind of shut down in that little middle part of the game in the second game. And then I'm like, listen, he's up 3 points. I think I play a little faster than he does. So let me just hang in there solid as long as I can, and maybe pawn by pawn claw my way back, which I did for a large chunk of it. And then he got a really good endgame strategy. And if he had rammed those pawns down my king's throat, I would have been dead as a doornail. But I got lucky because of the time pressure as well. And then at the end, Danny, you never taught me how to mate with a king and a queen against a king.
I knew you were going to blame me for that.
That's what you teach 5-year-olds when they're learning chess. And I don't, so it's Danny's fault.